Now, Hong Kong is growing its green finance market very rapidly. Just take a green bond as an example. It started just a few years ago when the government began to issue green bonds, and now has a market size of like $40 billion this year, compared with about $20 billion last year. And I think the government is playing a very instrumental role here by setting examples of issuing by itself, by providing incentives such as the grant schemes, and also by providing or supporting the verification schemes such as through QAA. And the China backing is also very important. The majority of issuers of green bonds in Hong Kong are actually coming from China because of huge demand for green financing there. Recently, the China Green Finance Committee was issuing a report stating that in the coming 30 years, China will need to raise something like 487 trillion RMB for green financing. I think that will form a very major part of the Hong Kong demand for green financial services.
So Hong Kong is the gateway to China in so many ways, including green financing. Dr. Ma, how has the recent turmoil in China's property markets affected those companies that were planning sustainable developments and possibly issuance?
Well, the real estate market tightening is a separate topic. It's having some macro spins. But I'm seeing signs of easing of policy, both in terms of financing policy as well as sales restrictions by the local governments. It doesn't interfere into the green finance market that much because the majority of the green financing demand are coming from currently the renewable energy space, the manufacturing decarbonization activities, as well as green transportation. But indeed, I expect in the future, the green building sector will generate a lot of demand for green financing, and in the future, I'm looking forward for more green loans to finance new green projects, as well as green bonds to finance green building and green building renovation projects.
Yes. That's interesting, Dr. Ma. Does that imply that Hong Kong's property developers could be issuers?
Well, some of them are issuers, but I think that's not enough. What we need is to have some standardized codes for labeling green building, and the information need to be available on which building is green and how green they are. And such information needs to be presented in a way that's friendly to the financial institutions so that they can take the information, assess the green-related risks of the buildings, and then provide the proper terms for financing green buildings.